Video recording now, and at the end of the program you'll discover how much you missed of what was happening right in front of your eyes. The South African bush. We're here in search of a deadly animal whose vision is just like ours in one extraordinary way. She's a cobra and has to be approached very carefully. Her flared hood is a warning. If provoked, she could unleash a venomous strike which could kill in minutes. But there's a little-known fact about snake eyes. If you stay still long enough, she shouldn't be able to see you, because the light-sensing cells in her eyes tire if what they're looking at doesn't change. Faced with a static person, the snake relaxes. But any sudden movement and the cobra attacks. Like all animals, this snake has evolved to see just what she needs to see to survive, and not much more. We're just the same. The human visual system is superbly good at some things, but we can also miss an amazing amount of what's happening right in front of our eyes. We're in the skies above Los Angeles, one of the few places where they'll let you play tag with real planes. We're about to put the co-pilot's eyes through a high-speed workout. Forget video games, this is the way to test just how much our visual system can cope with. The co-pilot's job is to spot the other plane closing in at over 300 miles an hour. Then he has to get him in his sights and keep track of him as his plane hurtles around the sky. All he's looking for is a tiny speck in this empty sky. This takes real concentration. There he is! The plane's caught the co-pilot's attention because it was moving, so his eyes were automatically drawn to it. He knows he's been spotted, so now he tries to lose the chasing plane. Even at speed, the co-pilot can follow him. As the chase plane banks and spins, his visual system has no trouble keeping track of which way the target plane is moving and how far away it is. If the chasing team can get their laser on target, the other plane will have to surrender and let off a smoke trail. This three-dimensional high-speed pursuit shows what we can do with our eyes. But how does our visual system measure up to the rest of the animal kingdom? There are plenty of exotic creatures equipped to see in truly fabulous ways. The mantis shrimp has remarkable eyes on stalks which scan the world in 12 different colours. Chameleons have eyes which can swivel independently, so one eye can be on the lookout for danger, while the other lets them grab their supper. And some animals have much sharper eyes than us. From over 4 miles away, an eagle can spot prey that would be completely invisible to us. These animals all have eyes suited to their needs. So what have owls evolved to be good at?
I see you, baby.
We are group-living animals, and our real speciality is looking at the people around us, especially if we fancy them.
Shaking that ass.
In a busy night spot, we've decided to test exactly what people's eyes get up to, with the help of psychologists Ben Tatler and Kathy Hughes. Some volunteers have agreed to put on a headset that will record every move made by their eyes.
Well, an eye tracker gives us the opportunity to see where we're actually looking, and this is kind of important to record because the eyes are moving about all the time. They're darting around 3 times a second, and we're certainly not aware of this, so we need some kind of piece of equipment that's going to show us what's happening.
Our volunteers think they're going to the back of the bar to be tested by the psychologists, but the real test is actually before that. They're asked to wait next to 2 women and a man who've been planted there. All attractive models. How much will our volunteers ogle them? And if they do, will they know they're doing it? Time to play back the tape, and our first victim is in for a surprise.
Check this guy's face as we went by. Did you realise that you were looking at him?
No, I noticed someone over there and they were laughing at me. That's all I did. But not that particular person.
She was very interested in our male model in the sleeveless t-shirt. And it's not just his face she's checking out. Next, she takes a look at the bloke's bottoms along the bar. And she had no idea she was doing it.
It's an eye-opener for me. I'm amazed. Absolutely. Absolutely.
In fact, all our volunteers claim they weren't aware of where they were looking.
Did you realise how much you were looking at them? Because you're looking at these 2 girls quite a lot.
In our test, the women actually ogled more than the men. Our last volunteer thought she was just talking to her friend, but her eyes were all over the guy in the camel coat.
I'm really embarrassed. I don't even know that there was a guy in the bar with a camel coat on, and yet I must have been sat looking at him. Oh my God, oh no.
Our brains are so good at people watching that we do it automatically without even realising.
I see you, baby. All right, don't touch me.
So I guess the great thing about looking at eye movements and looking at where we look is that it does give us a window into the way that the brain is working, what the brain is interested in at some kind of subconscious level, even though it never gets to the point of us being aware.
Our eyes never settle, and there's a good reason why they're constantly darting around. It's all to do with the basic design of the eyeball. Ophthalmologist Dr. Bill Elwood takes a snapshot of the back of the eye.
What you can see here are blood vessels running over the surface of the retina, and beneath them are light-sensitive cells, which allow you to see.
Lining the inside of each eyeball, there are over 100 million light-sensing cells. But only the bigger cone cells see in colour. And amazingly, only in one tiny area of each eye are there enough of these cone cells jam-packed tightly together for sharp colour vision.
Most of the retina gives you vision which is quite blurry, apart from this very small area in the middle.
Just that smudge that we can see there.
This little smudge here that gives you really fine, detailed vision.
And that bright spot is even odder, an area which is completely blind.
That's where all the blood vessels come in and out, and where all the optic nerve fibres go back to the brain. And there's so much going on there that there aren't actually any light-sensitive cells in that area, and that corresponds to your blind spot. So it is a very odd design.
So if our eyes are designed with a blind spot and a mostly blurred image, how do we see the world in such intricate detail and vivid colour? The patchy image made at the back of the eye is just the beginning of how we see. As our eyes dart around, we make sure that anything interesting is lined up on our sharp spot, so we get a good look at it. And you don't know you're doing it. because the brain takes these jerky snapshots and creates a nice smooth movie of the world. And the brain also compensates for the blind spot. Because our eyes give us slightly different images, we can combine them to give one complete picture. Our visual system is constantly keeping track of what's out there and where it's moving. But it goes way beyond that. Sometimes we can even see things before they've happened. Scientists have recently discovered that baseball hitters do something quite extraordinary. The ball is moving so fast that the hitter can't simply watch the ball as it comes towards him and then adjust his swing. So how does his bat end up in the right position? Your average novice tries to follow the ball through the air and then take aim. That's disastrous.
Impossible, I don't even know how you catch it.
Top baseball stars like Gabe Kapler don't even try to watch the ball.
Yeah, they say that it's almost impossible for us to track the ball actually from the pitcher's hand all the way into the catcher's glove or when we make contact with the ball, but you know, I don't know if that's true or not. All I know is that natural ability tends to take over, and the repetitive action that you do on a day-to-day basis as a hitter tends to take over.
After facing thousands of throws, Gabe has learnt to see into the future. Scientists have discovered that within a few thousandths of a second of the ball leaving the pitcher's hand, Gabe's brain analyses the speed, spin and angle of the ball, and then he predicts where it's likely to end up. So he's swinging at the ball before any normal human being would know where it was going. And he does it with astonishing accuracy.